Do you want the sleek aluminum design and RGB capabilities of Corsair's top-of-the-line keyboards, but just can't fork up all that dough? Well, then this board may be for you.
Hi everyone, I'm Jacob Goodman, and welcome to my unboxing and review of the E-Element RGB Keyboard. Now, I grabbed this keyboard off of Massdrop.com, a fairly new website that works directly with manufacturers to offer below retail prices to their members. More info about Massdrop at the end of this video.
Moving on to the unboxing now, the first thing you'll notice is the lack of any flashy retail packaging. This keyboard definitely didn't come far from the factory. Now, I opted for the less popular black finish with Outemu black switches, as I'm not a big fan of clicky keys. Also, I've already opened this package, so don't mind any loose packaging or tears. With the first insert off, you'll see the keyboard wrapped in some thin foam with the rest of the accessories underneath. Overall, this packaging does its job, and there was no damage to the box or components when it arrived. Taking out the keyboard reveals an attachable plastic wrist rest and a plastic bag with a manual and pegs to attach the wrist rest. This keyboard has a 6-foot cable with a gold-plated USB connection. A Velcro tie is included to manage any extra cable. My first impressions when holding the keyboard is that it is quite sturdy while still maintaining a thin profile with its floating keys. The brushed aluminum plate is a bit shinier than I had hoped, but helps keep the keyboard rigid while having an overall professional look. The wrist rest is less impressive, as it is just glossy plastic with a slight hexagonal pattern on the top. The only rubberized part is 3 small pads on the bottom to keep it from sliding. The wrist rest snaps on quite snugly, but included are 2 magnetic pegs that help it from shifting out of its place. The included manual may help you if you haven't seen a video like this, but it wasn't written very well, and it's a keyboard. Who needs a manual? Here's a look at the keyboard, completely unboxed. And this is what it looks like with the wrist rest attached. After having this keyboard for about a month now, I can definitely say that the E-Element keyboard lived up to my expectations. While it lacks the robust programmability of other RGB keyboards on the market and features like pass-through USB or G keys, it comes at a price point that is surprising of a keyboard this capable. At just $90 shipped in the US, it breaks the triple-digit pricing that RGB keyboards commonly have. It's not a poorly made keyboard either, with the Outemu black switches having no discernible difference over my test Cherry MX black switch. Unlike other switches, these Outemu switches are indeed clear, which helps spread the color evenly across the key and is more appealing in its floating form. The insert, home, page up, delete, and page down keys serve as 6 different lighting effects when pressed with function. Pressing function with the up or down arrow keys will adjust the 4 brightness levels of the LEDs, with the lowest setting being off. Now I'll show you all the different lighting effects this keyboard offers. I'll refer to each effect based on the number that is under the key name. Function 1 will give a smooth transition through the spectrum, with the whole keyboard displaying the same color at the same time. Pressing function 1 again will pause or resume this effect. Function 2 gives you a continuous random ripple effect that originates from the O key. Pressing function 2 again will actually do the same effect, but activates every time you type. This is not shown. Pressing function 2 a third time will give you a solid color burst effect, and a 4th press will pause on the next color. Also not shown. Function 3 will give a wide sweep through the spectrum. pressing this again will pause the effect. Function 4 is the fast rainbow sweep, and note that pressing function and the left or right arrows will change the direction for both this effect and the previous effect. Pressing function 4 again will pause or resume the rainbow. Function 5 is the custom setting. In this mode, you can choose colors for individual keys, including no lighting. To edit the keys, you must press function 5 again, and this will take you into the editing mode. Note that you'll have to navigate back to the color you want for your function key itself before saving the layout by pressing function 5 one more time. The last effect, function 6, is reactive typing. Only the keys you press will light up and then fade back to off. Repeating function 6 will yield the same effect, but with different colors. As I said before, the Outomove switches have performed exactly as I envisioned, with a consistent feel across the board and no broken or defective keys and LEDs. Each switch is firm on the board and the stabilizers help keep longer keys in place. To remove a key with a stabilizer, simply lift up either end of the key first, then detach the rest of the key. The keycaps themselves are not the strongest and are quite light. The finish is slightly texturized and each legend is made with a separate, translucent plastic. This is different from my previous keyboard, which seems to be translucent caps that were painted black. The next part of this review will be a sound test, first without dampeners, as it would be out of the box, and then with the 50 durometer dampeners.
And there you have it, the E-Element RGB Keyboard. Some pros about this keyboard are its thin profile, use of an aluminum plate, switch quality, and especially the price. For just $90 for me, it's a steal. Some cons for this keyboard are first its wrist rest, which is a bit too plasticky. Next is the font, which some people may not prefer. Quality control can also be an issue. Some people have reported not having working switches or LEDs that may not work the way they're supposed to. And lastly is a slight twang sound that can be heard when you're typing on this keyboard. That can be attributed to the direct mounting on the aluminum plate. I'll play it for you here again. It's especially apparent with the R key. it's really not that bad, but it can be annoying for the first few times you use it. Just something to note. This keyboard can be found on Massdrop.com in either a silver or black version, which includes either blue or black out-to-move switches. If the keyboard is not available, just vote to redrop and eventually it should be back on their website. I'll leave a link down below directly to this keyboard on Massdrop, as well as a link to join Massdrop with my referral. Go check it out. Thank you for watching my review and first YouTube video. If you like this video, please like below, as well as comment for any questions, and subscribe to get more videos from me. I'm Jacob Goodman, and this has been a Jacob Goodman Review.